Greetings and welcome, my friends. This is Andre 8P in apartment 30. He likes farts and crafts by the look and smell of it. We're kicking things off with a shuffler special. We do have a talent as a playable and a stock up if we get a third land. We'll give it a shot. Keep your hopes up. They play out a sanctifier, and that's a clear sign they are on life gain. We'll go with our talent. We're not looking to block, but if we can get in for a hit or two, we'll definitely go for it. They drop in a pride mate. It'll get to grow with every point of life they gain. We were hoping to get in for damages at some point, but now we'll want to block once that lion has gotten beefy. We draw a third land, which gives us a chance to fight back in the mid-game. But we'll need to get there first. Even some of their lands gain them life. How much you want to bet they are mono-colored? They make their first mistake of the game by playing out a Sheltered by Ghosts. Some people just never learn. We'll go with our Horn of Plenty. It'll give us plenty of life and plenty of mana. They go with an Elenda, Saint of Ducks. They actually are Orzhov. They send it, and we'll go all the way down to 5 life. To have any hope of getting back in this game, we'll need to draw a Plains, and that's exactly what we draw. Now we can fire off our sweeper and clear out their men. They really didn't need to play out Elenda, but these life gain players never have any patience or are ever happy unless they drop all the cards in their hand onto the board. Their recovery begins with a Sanctifier. They have a whole card left in hand. It's probably a land. We'll go with our Retreat this turn. We have a Forest in hand we can drop in to trigger our enchantment, and we have double map the frontier for double triggers on each of our next 2 turns. They play out another Pride mate, but now we're going to have blockers for days. We'll fire off our first map the frontier and get a pair of lands. That should get us the mana we need to play out the nursery, and with 2 of our landfall enchantments, they won't be able to get through no matter how big their men are. They play out another Sheltered by Ghosts. Mistakes continue to be made. We draw a Cornucopia, and we'll go with it this turn. We'll follow up with our stock up and grab some ammo off the top. We'll take the sweeper. They'll lose a pair of cards, but we can easily generate more tokens after we clear all men out. The second nursery is perfect too. With their early advantage gone, their Sheltered cat can do nothing but be a spectator. He's got a front row seat to the beatings we're going to throw. We'll drop in the first nursery. We can afford to spend some time setting up since we're stuck in a stalemate on board. We draw a passage which equals 4 Treefolk tokens once we drop the second nursery. We might not even need the sweeper. Let's crack our passage for another land. And that's when they pull the red ejection handle. That's GG's, extra cheese. This is Skate Moon, distant cousin of Sailor Moon. Skate, skate. We get a 3-lander this time, with 2 of our 3 mana cards. The stock up can help us find more cards, and we have a defensive measure to hold off enemy men. They go with a healer's hawk. Life gain has raised their ugly head once more. At the end of their turn, we'll crack our passage and get a forest. That will give us at least one of each of our colors. We draw a talent which will give us a token to strike back with. For some weird reason, they play out Leo. They could have used Sneak to get him in play. We'll go with our Horn of Plenty. We want the life gain as well as the extra mana. They go double Vanguard, which will gain them a pair of life before they even swing in. Their Leo is going to get huge very quickly. We'll go ahead and block up. Let's try to keep our life total up when we can. We draw a forest, but this turn has to be about our defensive measure. Aetherize will bounce their men and reset their Leo. We got nothing over here. Your go, my bro. They drop in a bat for the fun of it, and now we wait for them to send it. There's heavy inbound, but we've got our reset button to push. All they've got to show for their efforts is 10 life gained and 1 damage done. Nice, bro. Very nice. Since their men are all rather cheap, they can play most of them back out. That's fine. There's no 8/8 Leo breathing down our neck now, at least. It's time for stock up to find us something we can work with. That's a sweeper. Easy pick there. Out of the rest, I do like a second talent in case we need to get back our Beyond the Quiet multiple times. They play out a Channeler and it'll swell up with pride. But it's going to end up being just another victim. They send it and we'll block up. Our otter token and all their men will be disappearing soon anyways. They sneak in their Leo, which is perfect. Now we'll be able to clear out all their men that we definitely wanted gone. They hung on to their Vanguard. Apparently that's enough men on board. It's time to smell you girls later. This is an easy 5 for 1. Their Vanguard returns, it's part of their rebuild. It's rather useless by itself. We draw a third talent, and we'll play it out. Then we can follow up with Map the Frontier. Let's get some more manas so our Doppel will generate more of an advantage. They send it, and we'll block. This is an excellent trade for us. They easily could have used their land to pump their cat. Oopsie poopsie, bro. They play out another Leo, but when they don't have numbers, it really is less of a threat. We'll level up a talent and get back our stock up. We could fire it off, but I prefer setting up some defense. Earthbending a land will give us a blocker that they can't easily get past. They drop in a Sanctifier, and it finally looks like they figured out they have lands that can pump their men. At long last, they are figuring out how to play their own deck. We'll go with our stock up this turn. We need at least one more mana to fire off a 3-point Doppel. We'll take the Virtue. The manas will flow like water in a river. And of course, let's grab a land. We have enough mana to land our Virtue, but let's not drop the shields. We'll just earthbend another land, watch them smile and nod. They use the team pump ability of their lands. It's a minor miracle. They go with a Sheltered by Ghosts. You just had to know they would have that in their arsenal. They snag our Horn of Plenty. They really don't like it when we gain life. They send it. It's about time. I ordered my hot sauce an hour ago. We'll gang block the bunny. We want our manas back. They use a restoration magic to save their little buddy. They're grasping at straws. We can clear the board a second time if we wanted. We have enough mana to return our sweeper back to our hand, then fire it off. We'll go with our Virtue, but always remember that the auto-tapper will use basic lands first, and those are what we want to have up since the Virtue will triple the mana from our basics. Let's manually tappity tap tap. Then we can fire off our stock up and dig up more weapons. They give it up, even they know they're too far behind to have a chance to dent our skull. That's GG's board wipe cheese. This is an extremely magical person, as long as you've brought pants, bro. We get a 3-lander that has at least one of each of our colors, and we have a bounce in case we need it early. The stock up can help us find more cards. This is fine. Keep your pants on. We draw a passage, and it's tempting to drop it in, but we can wait until after we stock up. They impending out a green Overlord. It feels like the only ones who play it still are the Unidecks. It's time to stock up. We've got a decent hand already, but it could always get better. That's a sweeper in case we need it later. I do like the procession. It's always great being able to get back something, but I think going with another passage would help us out more in the long run. They go with a chalk outline. You and your homies will be lined in chalk, bro. They're up to some graveyard shenanigans. We draw a map, the Frontier, and with us getting to 4 mana this turn, that's what we'll go with. They go through their turn without any plays. All that mana and nothing in hand they can drop? Smells fishy to me. We draw a virtue, and we'll use it to get back a passage. The more mana, the better. And we'll have plenty of mana once we land the virtue. But this turn has to go to Viv. We can use her sniping ability to clear out their green overlord.
When I win, you're gonna stay out of my way. You can't bury the creatures of this world in steel and stone.
They play out a Dredger's Insight. They either just drew that, or they're slow rolling it. I was going to bounce their token, but they brought back their green overlord. They're also playing Armagon. We are not worried.
Those that survive are stronger for it.
We'll clear out their men with our sweeper. There goes all their hopes and dreams. For a brief moment, I did consider using the Destroy ability and then get Viv back with the Procession, but let's play it smart. We'll keep building her up.
Nature speaks, and I listen.
We'll go with Elspeth. We'll want to start getting men on board, though. I suspect they'll be going with their Armagon at the end of our turn.
My blade descends! Our ranks grow.
Seemingly like clockwork, there's the man-eating shark. We still have our bounce, which can deal with it for a turn. They send it and go after Elspeth. We'll let the hit land. We can get her back with the Procession, and then we can use her minus ability to snipe their big shark.
Watch for my return.
They even hit Viv with a removal. That does clear out our board, but we've only just begun to build it. Their last card is a black virtue. I don't think there's anything in the grave, but we're about to put their shark in the grave. Or at least we were going to. Now I think we have to get our sweeper back to clear out Armagon. We draw a Horn of Plenty and we'll drop it in before we fire off the board wipe. They fire off a Lord Voldemort. It's all fun and games until the opponent gets something that's hard to deal with, and we've used our sweeper a second time already. We'll go with our virtue this turn. We're not going to worry about tapping our non-basics, since we want to wait until our next turn to unleash our Doppel anyways. They crack their clues. It's a race to see who gets their weapons first. We already have our primary weapon, but getting more will help. It's time for our Doppel. We are going to let it rip for the maximum, which gives us a 9-point Doppel. That's enough to copy up a ton of stuff, including some of our lands. We'll have mana to follow up with our stock up with more than enough mana to fire off whatever we dig up. Now we'll bounce their Lord Voldemort. I don't want to give them a stock up in case we don't find another sweeper. We tap an island for 2,187 mana. That's enough for our stock up. Out of these, wait, they self-destructed in their pants. That's GG's. Extra mana cheese. This is brine. They are already salty. Wait, do you even have pants on, bro? We get a 3-lander with ramp cards and a bounce. With what we have, we can play everything in our hand. It is not the best, but it will work. Keep your pants on. We'll play an island first in case we need the bounce early. They play out an overgrown zealot. It's a mana guy, so they are looking to play out something bigger. I do want to slow them down by bouncing their mana guy, but we can do that after we play out a Horn of Plenty. They replay their zealot, and they are right back to where they were on their last turn. We bought ourselves at least one turn by bouncing their mana guy. This turn we'll drop in our second Horn of Plenty and enjoy having more mana than the elf playing opponent. They go with an emissary. It will gain them a life every time one of their men enters play. And with them on the Smelf plan, there is likely plenty of men on the way. Why, there's another one now. We'll go fetch out some more lands. At least we can keep up with their mana. The only problem is they have nothing we would want to copy. On the bright side, all their men are rather small, so we're not in any danger of taking big hits. They play out a Marlin, a Smelf Lord that exiles cards from the top of our deck whenever it or other Smelfs enter play on their side. At one point in time, I had thought about building a similar deck, but then you have to play a pile of subpar men. We have enough mana for a 2-point Doppel, but even then, Marlin is a legend, which won't let us catch up on board, and the rest of their men are 1/1 slobs. They go to play out a second Bloom Tender, and this is where we bounce their Marlin. Those Bloom Tenders are multiplying like rabbits. It's better to see them now than to see them when they have Marlin on board. They send it and we'll hit them with Aetherize. It does return their men, but hopefully it works to slow them down. They fire off a desist to take out our cornucopias. We're down a pair of mana, but even then we still have enough for a 2-point Doppel. None of these are worth copying. We'll just pass the turn. Marlin comes back, and they get to steal another pair of cards. This time around, it looks like they got something other than lands. They drop in our talent, which is something worth copying. All those bodies, but yet we're not in danger of being killed off. We draw a stock up, and it's time to reload. We'll take the sweeper, of course, and that's a retreat which we can copy. We can copy lands for multiple triggers. It's time to clear out the ragamuffins. The entire gang has got to go, especially the ones with soiled trousers. We left them with 4 lands, lol. They hit us with a betrayal, but all we need is on board and in hand. They warp in a Riddler for the card draw. It's too bad they couldn't play it out for its full price so we could copy it. We'll fire off our 2-point Doppel. We'll copy our talent and one of our lands. While we could use more forests, we could also use more blue mana. They play out another Marilyn, it comes back to haunt us. I do want to drop in the retreat, but we don't have enough white mana to play it, then fire off our sweeper. We need Marilyn gone, that's for sure. Then we'll level up one of our talents to get back our Doppel. They fire off another desist, and I feel lucky we didn't drop in the retreat. Now is the turn for the retreat. We can get our first cat token by dropping in our island, and on our next turn we can fire off a potentially game-winning Doppel. They play out their Riddler. It'll be part of our Doppel package when we fire it off on our turn. We'll drop in our talent before we Doppel for 3. We'll copy our talent, the Retreat, and their Riddler. They see our tokens and get the F out. Smell you later, bro. And GG's, extra cheese. And that, my friends, is another satisfied customer.